Welcome back to On the Couch. Today is 5 things that a higher EQ will do for you. What it's done for me in the past. Ready? Let's get into it. The first thing, number 1, that a higher emotional quotient, a higher emotional strength will give you is an ability to truly communicate well. Simple way is people with a higher emotional strength, emotional quotient, have a keen ability to take a large, complex idea and convey it to their staff, to their friends, in their relationships in a very simple way that can be understood. How do they do this? Very simple. They understand how what they say is being reacted to and how people are responding to them. Being aware of that enables them to slow down when they need to, take time and explain something in more than one way. People without a high EQ, what do? They just explain something and then they expect you to get it the first time. This usually doesn't work, not too often. The second best thing that having a higher EQ, emotional quotient, will give you is an ability to trust. This is huge, right? You want an ability to trust because it actually makes you a stronger person. How does this work? It's 2 parts. So 2 parts for number 2. People with a high emotional strength understand that not everyone is going to get everything right. Most importantly, themselves. By understanding that, it allows them to be forgiving of people and knowing beforehand that people are going to make mistakes. That's number 1. Number 2 is this creates patience. You ever see that before? People with great patience, you'll notice they have a high emotional quotient, because they understand that not everything is going to happen when they need it to happen, when they want it to happen. People are just going to make mistakes. So, by working on your EQ, you will, in fact, create trust in yourself and trust in other people. You'll be forgiving of yourself because you know you're going to screw shit up sometimes. That's just how it's going to happen. Everybody wants freedom, right? What does that mean? It's like the freedom to do whatever you want, the freedom to express yourself, right? Right? How do you get there? You know I'm about to tell you, and you know it's true. That's right. A higher emotional quotient, a greater emotional strength, right? How does that work? How do you get freedom from that? People with high emotional strength, high emotional quotient, they don't carry around regret, they don't carry around shit from the past. It's very simple. They have dealt with whatever it was that was troubling or whatever it was that caused them a problem. They dealt with it emotionally and they let it go. They don't today, at this moment, through their awareness, think about that thing and carry that emotion into now. They don't do it. They have let it go. This gives them freedom. And that is one of the greatest things you can ever find in yourself. And a perfect way for you to get there is by beginning to practice having greater emotional strength. If you know it's the truth, go back and rewind this and play it again. You'll see what I'm saying. Number 4. People with great emotional strength are fundamentally great listeners. Why? They're not busy thinking about the next thing they are going to say. Now I know number 1, I told you, is communication. That was really in speaking. Number 4 is about listening. Your ability to truly listen, not think about the next thing you're going to say, will show if you have great emotional quotient or you don't. Right? Are you thinking about the next thing you're going to say, or are you intentively listening to somebody? Do you care about why they're saying it and how they're saying it? Here's the best part. People with great emotional strength, they're not waiting for their turn to interject how they feel about what you said, about the situation or your opinion, especially when it comes to opinions. For some reason, we think that we need to have a response or reaction to everything everyone says. That's not really true. You don't have to respond or react to everything. When you're working on having higher emotional strength through awareness, you will understand that. This will make you a better listener. Number 5. The fifth thing that raising your emotional quotient, gaining greater emotional strength will do for you is teach you the true meaning of the word kindness and caring, compassion. Here's how it works. Learning the difference between, do you really feel sympathy for something and do you really have empathy for something else? Or do you not even have it at all? Your ability to be emotionally strong will give you the understanding and the clinical difference between these two things. Being sympathetic to somebody is understanding them for whatever it is that they're going through so that you can help them in some way or in some fashion. And being empathetic means that you actually feel the same way as that person. You have gone through that thing. But oftentimes we displace our emotions in the wrong place. We're angry with somebody, and are you really angry about that? Or are you not really angry about that? Are you upset about that, or are you not really upset about that? Does it really matter to you? When you gain higher emotional strength, you will understand the difference between these two. I'll tell you, this one thing helped me more than anything else, so I could get to number 3. So I could get back to finding the freedom, so I could truly let go of this crap that I didn't really actually care about anymore. I had, in fact, previously displaced emotion. I'd put an emotion, left an emotion, kept an emotion attached to something that I didn't really fucking need. Right? That was it. In closing, raising your emotional quotient, accepting yourself in a different way, being aware of these things, is going to get you to so many better places, both in your work life, in your social life, in your relationships. This isn't a fix one thing in your life. This is about all of your life. It's not just for if you're the boss or you're the employee and the mid-range employee. If you're in a group of friends and there's whatever you've got going on, having greater emotional strength is the single thing that makes you happier. It's the single thing that gives you true understanding of your world, other people, and what you are doing. Here's a breakdown. Most people want everyone else to change around them to fit them, right? Why are you doing that? Why don't you do this? And they're using should and all these advise words, and you should drive your car, drive faster when you're in front of me, but the guy behind me needs to drive slower. All this crap. If you have a higher emotional strength, you understand the balance between all those things because you understand you and how you truly feel, or don't feel, that's the important one, about any of these things that are going on. I'm Richard Wilson. We are on the couch. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope you will think about this and raise up your EQ.